people that have supported him through ads in the program, that are here in the flesh watching the ball game, and that make their job easier with their support. I'm talking about their everyday job throughout the course of the years.
Sure, you bet it does. It helps out a lot. The support from the community means a lot to these guys.
Toss in the backfield. Rodriguez breaks the tackle, trying to get the corner turn. He does 40 near the 45-yard line, so that's a pretty good run by the tailback. New tailback with some speed, Dustin Rodriguez. He scored a couple of touchdowns via the passing lanes. That time aligned as the tailback running the toss sweep to the left side.
71, Alex Karras over there again. You know, we're joking, of course, about the Alex Karras comment. I wish we had a name to put with this gentleman. He's done a great job for San Jacinto from the linebacker position. Also featured as a wide receiver on offense. It'd be nice to know who he is.
One thing about Alex, he's playing pretty well for a guy who's about 60 plus.
He is. He looks good too. He's in great shape.
Really good shape. Moves exceptionally well for a 60 plus year old. We'll call him a young man. 40 seconds left to play in the third period. 34-0. Rodriguez remains as the tailback. Movement across the line of scrimmage. Nothing called. Rodriguez right at the middle on the blast play. Near first down yardage, will be stopped about a yard, maybe a yard and a half shy of the first down stick. He has to get right to midfield or come up just a little bit short. 21 seconds in, counting. In fact, checked out, indication that is a first down. Nice, powerful running by the big tailback. And of course, I'm talking about Rodriguez. He's a pretty good sized guy at 5'7", 158. You compare that to Kasha Clemens, who goes 6 foot 220, but he's very powerful for a small guy.
Well, we said earlier, he's got a good lower body build, and a lot of these guys, they keep in shape. You know, they have to keep in shape for their job. Their job is very rigorous, thinking from the physical point. And these guys they're not bad athletes at all.
We have reached the end of three periods of play from Oxnard High School. The score at the end of 3 in Pride Bowl number 20. The Ventura County Badgers, they're on top 34-0 over San Jacinto's Hogs. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is kind of...
We're back as we start the fourth period play. Toss sweep running back to the left side. Rodriguez, new quarterback in across the 45-yard line into San Jacinto territory, right about the 44-yard line. In fact, now playing quarterback Jeff Vargas, replacing Albrent. We're going to have the doctor check Albrent's numbers. He was very impressive, both throwing the football and running as well.
Yeah, he had a great game, and there again we just saw Brewer kicking out. Also helping lead out blocking there was B.K. Fleming. These guys, they bring a lot of different formation looks at you, Tom, and they bring a lot of different blockers at you, and they're throwing fresh bodies in there. That's something that, a privilege that the San Jacinto team doesn't have right now.
Second and about 4 yards to go. They'll stay eye backfield set again. We've got the new quarterback, Jeff Vargas. The tailback is Dustin Rodriguez. Movement off the right side. I thought early movement, they drop it off to the fullback. That's Kasha Clemens now playing fullback. Short of the first down, they'll spot it right about the 42-yard line. Edwin Lesa up to make the stop. And again, I keep seeing movement across the line of scrimmage. I think I see William Guadamus stepping across off the right side defensively, but evidently the linesman right there doesn't see it the way I do.
Well, either he's lining up a lot deeper than we think he is, and he's not breaking the plane, or they're just kind of letting things go a little bit here with a 34-0 score to kind of keep the clock moving. I don't know what the situation is, but I thought the same thing. I thought he's been off a couple times.
Once again, our thanks to Tim Loomis providing the halftime interview here at Pride Bowl number 20. Tim Loomis, we talked about the long-time outstanding police officer here in the community of Oxnard. And he is an ex-award-winning player as a part of this particular activity. Rodriguez off the right side. That's Bo Rodriguez, number 5. It's kind of hard to tell the 5 and 6. Bo off the right side. I thought I saw the late penalty flag come down, holding the indication against the Badgers. And we talked about our PA announcer as we look for the replay. There's Bo Rodriguez, number 5. And here's the replay. Maybe we can catch the hold behind the play, Dave.
Yeah, I think it's going to be called on 55. The right guard, it could have also been, I think it's number 38. That's John Stubblefield, the fullback, trying to lead around the end. And didn't quite have the angle and thought I saw him reach out a hand. Of course, anytime you get your arms out away from your body and you're reaching towards the other man, you got a more likelihood of being called for the hold. That's what happened.
as they mark the penalty yardage back. Again, our public address announcer for this afternoon's 20th Pride Bowl game, Randy Latimer, former outstanding player in this game as well. And you talk about activities and you talk about organizations that really give a lot to the community. Randy is co-director of PALS here in Oxnard, of course the Police Athletic League. And what those guys do in the community is tremendous for the youth of Oxnard.
Well, we've had Mr. Loomis talk to us about that group in the past, and at our high school football program, and they do a wonderful job of supplying a lot of activities for kids after school hours and times when they could be looking around to get into other trouble, and they've got some place to go and some things to do.
Vargas, deep pass intended downfield for Wilkie. Wilkie running down it's like the long jump area over there. Incomplete as the ball thrown a little bit too far away. Incomplete. Clock stopped. 9:39 left to play in the fourth period. 34-0. Ventura County Badgers on their way. There we see the guys. Some of the ex-star players here out of Pride Bowl in Ventura County. This being the 20th edition. You saw Randy and Tim waving at the camera there on fourth down. Albrecht to punt. Good snap. He's been an exceptional punter throughout the years. High punt on the fair catch. Catch will be made by Larry Kidd right about the 17-yard line. And we have another possibly injured player back right around the point that the punt was made at the 32-yard line. Unfortunately for San Jacinto, we'll try to get a number. Chris Matthews, perhaps, Dave.
I think it might be Matthews. He's been a real stalwart to them, coming off the edge from the defensive end position, and they don't need to lose another quality player. I think it might be Chris that's laying down. Whoever it is getting up awful easy, making it off the field on his own. It is Chris Matthews. Good to see that he's able to walk off the field, nothing serious.
And again, I'm testing my memory, which sometimes is not as good as it used to be, but number 57, great linebacker, you think of Matthews. I think of Clay Matthews, a great University of Southern California linebacker who played for a number of years with the Cleveland Browns. Of course, his brother Bruce still playing for the Tennessee Titans. I think he's been playing for about 35 years now, hasn't it been? Something like that. All pro quality players still at this point in time. Out of the shotgun, little to pass, pump fake, hit from behind, throws it up for grabs. That might be picked off. It is. That ball will be intercepted. Nice play, Chris Apata, as the penalty flag will come down, so we'll wait and see what happens.
I don't know if this is going to depend on who this goes against. It looks like it's going to be against the San Jacinto club, so possibly this interception will stand. But this is a pretty good pump fake here. You see him pump the man, comes back, but he's getting hit from backside. Doesn't really get a lot on the ball. Comes up a little short, and that leads to the pick.
And of course, I talked about the conversation I had with Will Howe earlier in the week. He's a very accommodating gentleman who provided me with lots of very good information, and I'd like to thank Will. Of course, he's done a great job in his tenure, not only as a coach, but he used to play in this game as well. He played his last game back in 1994, he told me, part of the Ventura County Sheriff's Department now, but he's got tremendous football experience. There you see Will, right there in the middle, with that white hat. As his son was a great football player at Camarillo High School, John, as a running back in that championship year. Of course, we think of John, we think of Joe Borchard, and some of the other guys they had playing that year. CIF champions, never forget that final game, the win over Notre Dame and Justin Vargas.
Excellent program over there at Camarillo, and that's something I'm sure all the locals will remember. Borchard's gone on to a lot of fame after his stint with the Scorpions.
Top athlete in that Chicago White Sox organization. Vargas looking to pass. He's going to go down. Pressure off the edge that time by Guadamus, William Guadamus. Talking about pressure from the defensive line, another guy that I would be remiss if I did not mention, Scott Duffner. Scott also the last few years has been so accommodating and helping us out, giving us the information, talking about the guys and what this organization, these organizations combined are all about in putting this Pride Bowl together. So thanks again to Scott. Continuing to play excellent football. If you remember, I think it was 2 years ago, Dave, one of the games at Camarillo in the Pride Bowl, he took a tremendous shot and they kind of had to help him out off with a guy on each side of him. We didn't know if that guy would ever recover, but according to what he told me the other day, he says his wife still doesn't think he's recovered, but he says that he's okay.
We always have to have one PR guy on these teams. These guys come from so many varied organizations. Somebody's got to know all the stories behind these groups. Scott does a good job with it.
Ellis Green off the right side now in the ball game at tailback. Wants to get on the stat sheet as he points up to the crowd. I think he's pointing up here to Tim Loomis. That was a pretty good run by Ellis Green, having some fun. And again, that's what it's all about. The charities benefit. You go out there, you play a game that you played since childhood that you still love. And you just have so much fun realizing that a lot of other people are going to benefit.
You bet. And these guys still put on a good game, too. I mean, they run a lot of different looks, a lot of formations. Look pretty crisp, the Badgers do. I mean, I've been pretty impressed so far.
Down to 7:25 left in the fourth period, 34-0. Long count again off the edge. People in the backfield, nothing calling it. I don't know about you, but either my eyes are getting awfully bad or I thought I saw at least 2 guys in the backfield when that ball was snapped. No penalty flags thrown.
Well, you know, it's a little known fact that there are huge pockets of methane over here in the Oxnard Plain. At times they drift upwards through the ground, causing kind of a wavy sensation. Will actually cause optical illusions out there on the field. But I think they were both over by 10 yards. I was wondering why there was no flag call.
Well, obviously we're playing by the collegiate rule. Of course, in high school you get that movement into that neutral zone. It's the automatic 5-yard dead ball mark-off for encroachment, and that was more than encroachment. 6:35 and counting, fourth period. It's 34-0 on fourth and about 3 yards to go. Toss weave. Bo Rodriguez running back to the right side. Steps inside a tackle try, but he's going to go down short of the first down. Wanabus, nice play by Roberto up from that strong safety position to trip up the running back Bo Rodriguez.
Guadalupe has had a great ball game from this cornerback position. Comes up very tough. He's not a big guy, 5'10", 180, but he's a pretty sure tackler.
And thanks go out to the head coach for the San Jacinto Hogs, Jeff Penn. Jeff providing a lot of helpful information. James Wiesen, also another Calou alum, helping us out with the roster before the start of the game. Thanks to those guys. And of course, they had to make the long trip up to Ventura County from San Jacinto. You know, they talk about the community of San Jacinto Community College. They have quite an athletic program. They've had quite a bit of success over the years in football. They have a counter give right up the middle again, and McCracken breaks to the outside. Nice spin move away from the tackler along the sideline at the 32-yard line. That tackler was Mike Rivera. One of the guys I think of late out of Mount San Jacinto Junior College, Mike Anderson. If you are a professional football fan at all, you know Mike Anderson, a tremendous running back for the Denver Broncos. They've got Orlando Scary and, of course, a guy by the name of Terrell Davis. But I like Terrell Davis and Orlando Scary. Anderson is a tremendous player, but Gary and Terrell Davis, I believe, come from a college down in the South, the Deep South. I believe the University of Georgia, if memory serves me correct. There's a toss in the backfield. McCracken has the ball knocked away. It's on the ground. That's going to be recovered by the Badgers. So on the recovery, off the strip, Ryan Hewlett will make a recovery. It looked like they were trying to set up perhaps a halfback pass.
Well, we haven't seen that much either by these guys. They've been pretty sure-handed for San Jacinto. I don't think anybody stripped him. I think maybe he just lost the handle on the ball. It looked like he was trying to go for a halfback pass. But there he did get it. Somebody got a hand in him on it. That's actually Hewlett who eventually came up with the recovery, able to strip that ball. So tough break for San Jacinto. They looked like they were starting to get something maybe going a little bit, but great job by the defense for the Badgers.
So that was the trifecta, the heavy rush off the left side, the strip of the football, and the recovery, all accomplished by Hewlett. First and 10, 28-yard line. Badgers will take over. They're up 34-0, 4:25 left to play in this football game. Wide slot to the left side. Quarterback remains Vargas in relief of Albrin, who had a very good football game. Toss to Rodriguez off the left side. He winds it back. He's in the clear. Sprints towards the sideline inside the 15 near the 12-yard line. He'll be knocked off his feet by Dominic Denton. And again, I'm going to try to find the numbers for Albrin. They might be here. We've got a lot of information that's been provided by the whiz of computer tree. That's right. But anyway, the Dr. Jerry Guerin again providing us with the statistical information as he does always during our football broadcast. And of course, Analyst Supreme Dave Wheeler and the Doctor switch duties for the basketball that we've been so fortunate to be able to do over the years. 3:45 and counting, 34-0 win in the fourth period. First and 10, 13-yard line, trying to score perhaps again. The backup guys for Ventura. Last play up the middle to Bo Rodriguez. Inside the 10, inside the 5, still on his feet. Great run by Rodriguez. He's got a touchdown.
I'll tell you, that is just a great run. Rodriguez did most of that on his own. I mean, he had great blocking at the point of attack. But if he doesn't keep his legs moving, that doesn't end up being in the end zone. That's just a great drive.
So Bo's in the end zone, and if memory serves me correct, I believe Dustin's got a couple as well. Had those in the first half. Of course, these two guys, again, you talk about Ventura County history. These guys out of St. Bonaventure High School, I believe. So part of that great Seraph tradition.
Big number 55, Joe Henry, with a big block over there at the right guard position to help spring him into the end zone. Saw him flatten somebody over there.
40-0, the Badgers with a very impressive win here. A high snap. Wilkie on the early approach gets it through the middle of the upright. Almost ran by the ball because it was late getting down off that bad snap.
A little stealth attack on the kick there, kind of a fake, no fake, and then he does kick the ball. So not quite the best timing ever, but he does get it through the upright.
In the words of Scott Duffner, we talked about Scott, he is the Pride Bowl Association president, doing a great job as a player once again in this version of Pride Bowl number 20. Scott says it is only through the commitment of these volunteers like the deputies, police officers, and probation officers playing in this game that the foundation is able to grant more and better wishes to children with life-threatening illnesses each year. I don't think it could be said any better thanks to Scott and all the guys from both squads involved with this presentation.
Yeah, thanks to all these people who are sitting out here that bought tickets today too, because they're supporting this program by showing up, watching the game, buying a seat ticket.
Tim Albrecht will tee the ball up right about the 35-yard line. Of course, that's where they kick it away here in the college situation with the college rules. On top, 41-0, 3:30 left to play in this football game. Pride Bowl number 20, number 20. Another successful event for Pride Bowl. The Pride Bowl Association fielding the ball McCracken, 20-yard line, 25-30, right up the middle, 35, 40-yard line, still on his feet at the 42. This is a guy, I'd like to have a guy like McCracken on your team because basically between the lines and before the gun goes off, he plays hard every single play.
Well, he was going just guns for glory right there, and Chris Matthews, his own teammate, actually made the tackle on that. He couldn't get out of his way. He changed his direction so quick that Chris is trying to just not hurt the play, and he ends up making the tackle. Tough break for Santa Cinta.
Unofficially, of course, we can remind you as we check the replay, there's McCracken right at the middle for additional yardage. Tim Albrecht, 6 of 13 passing for 110 yards, 2 touchdowns with a long completion of 44. Dustin Rodriguez, 4 catches for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kasha Clemens, unofficially 16 carries for 124 yards of net rush offense. That's 7.8 yards per carry. We'll talk about some of the other stars as time allows. Looking to pass. In fact, Kidd rolls right to pass. Has some time. Now he will be pressured, reversing his field back to the left side, trying to set up, but cannot see anybody downfield, giving ground back to the 25-yard line as penalty flags come down. Right at the last from out of bounds, he tries to shuffle the ball underhand in the middle of the football field to McCracken, but he was already out of bounds, I believe, Dave.
And one of the guys who's really putting pressure on him over there is Scott Duffner. You mentioned him and all he's doing for this organization, but he's out there going crazy with 2 minutes left in the ballgame, trying to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
And we have, in fact, as they reviewed the penalty situation, been apprised of the award winners for this afternoon's football game. Our defensive lineman of the game, and again, we apologize to the San Jacinto Hogs. We do not have a number 71 on our roster. We have been referring to him as Alex Karras, but he has been voted the defensive lineman of the game for this Pride Bowl number 20. The defensive player of the game, Ray Masonis, outstanding number 91, inside linebacker for the Badgers. A lot of guys played well, but Ray always seems to play exceptionally in this football game. The offensive lineman of the game, Tim Dowler, of course representing the Badgers. The offensive player of the game, good choice, Tim Albrecht. And the MVP, we just talked about him, 124 yards of rush offense. Kasha Clemens, the MVP of Pride Bowl number 20.
All good picks.
On 2nd and 10, double twin straight back to pass. Little, he's got time. This time stop route, catch is made by Bottomless on his knees right about the 48-yard line. Should get up for the first down, Dave.
Yeah, it looks like it. They're going to move the sticks. So they're motioning, saying, come on, move them down.
Clock will continue to run as they wind it up. It's 2:10 and counting. Fourth period, 41-0. Ventura County Badgers with a big lead. They'll race out of the huddle. Of course, I use that term perhaps a little advisedly. Taking some time to get up to the line of scrimmage. Again, the quarterback, Kidd, Larry Kidd, replacing the starter, Georgia, who had some type of lower leg injury the first half. That ball thrown up for grabs. That's going to be picked off. Nice pick down about the 25-yard line. Up high to make the play. Ron Chips continuing on his feet. 40, 45 midfield. Will be knocked out of bounds as a penalty flag will come down behind the play once again. Ernie McCracken, the running back, with the tackle at the 48-yard line. But again, let's wait and see if any yardage will be given up on a penalty situation against the Badgers.
Yeah, they're going to have a hold call on this, but it is going to be after the interception, so they'll just take some of the yardage off.
I believe that's at least 3, perhaps 4 interceptions in this football game. I know Paredes had the first one. Chips now with the most recent one. You see the return by Chips. Doing a good job setting up his blocking, Dave.
Yeah, he did. And he had a pretty good little wall there, but McCracken's the kind of player, he wasn't going to let it get out of his sight. He sidestepped the blocker and still had the speed to get over there and pull it down. So nice play by McCracken.
I thought I might have seen Ellis Green lining somebody's numerals up on the backside. Possibly Ellis Green with the penalty call on the return. Ball spotted down at the 37-yard line. 1 minute, 32 seconds remaining in this Pride Bowl edition number 20. It's 41-0 Ventura County Badgers over the San Jacinto Hogs, who have been a very gallant opponent. Some good football on both sides of the ball. Most of the big plays, obviously, by the Badgers, leading big. There's a deep post break. That might be picked off. That's a nice leaping catch downfield. Bringing back on the interception now was Carlos Cisneros. So Carlos ending the game with a nice play on the pick, and he's been run over a couple of times by quarterback Albrecht. So that's a nice play by Carlos. We're going to take a quick break with 1:05 left to play in the ballgame. 41-0 Badgers. Stay with us. .49 seconds left to play, clock running in Pride Bowl number 20. 41-0 Ventura County Badgers on top. And I think one thing as we near the end, looking to pass, once again, Kidd being chased. Tremendous pressure by Todd Welty, and he's going to go down. Tackle before he gets out of bounds along the sideline. 28 seconds remaining here in the ballgame. Brian Hewlett, who also had an interception in this football game. But one thing, we have a pretty good crowd here, but you know, one thing, Dave, I think if people in this community knew more about this game, it'd be great to get more involvement here as far as the onside, the participation here in the crowd, the stands. And, I mean, I think this is something, a very, very worthy cause.
Definitely, and you know, it's something that hopefully people will notice from watching this game on Adelphia. They'll start taking note of the fact that they can come out here by doing it, watching a great entertaining game, also help to make a Wish Foundation, which is a great foundation.
Final play of this football game from Oxnard High School. Final score 41-0. The Ventura County Badgers with a very impressive win here in Pride Bowl number 20, led by the MVP, Kasha Clemens. But basically it was the old, I guess, cliche-est, it was a very much team effort here.
Very much so. A lot of standouts and stars for the Badgers, and just some tough breaks, and not a lot of personnel for San Jacinto. And you know, they gave it a good valiant try, but it's tough against this group today.
We're going to send it out, but don't forget to join us for our wrap-up here from Pride Bowl number 20 at Oxnard High School. Reminder, the final score here in this afternoon's football game, the Ventura County Badgers, they win it impressively, 41-0 over the San Jacinto Hogs. Stay with us. Pride Bowl 20 is in the books. It is history. Ventura County Badgers 41-0 winners over the San Jacinto Hogs. And we talked about number 71, the defensive lineman of the game. And you got to stay with me on this one, Dave Wheeler. Providing or proving to be a real menace throughout the course of this ball game to the Badgers offensive football team was the defensive line of the game. Again, a real menace, George Wilson.
Yeah, we finally found out his name. It came after the ball game was over, but what a great job he did out there. He was all over the field, both sides of the football, caused a lot of havoc for the Badgers. One of the players for San Jacinto that was in on a lot of stops.
And of course, I am showing my age when I'm talking about menace, as in Dennis the Menace. Remember Mr. Wilson next door? He was, in fact, was he not, George Wilson?
Indeed he was.
Tremendous game, as we mentioned, for the Ventura County Badgers. Before we wrap it up with our statistical update, our rundown there, we see Tim Albrecht. This is kind of a neat little situation at the end. The Badger football team providing autographs for some of the fans down there. That's good to see.
You bet. A lot of the kids are getting a big kick out of it.
Directing tonight, Max MacGyver, our engineer replay, Carl Holm, graphics, Charles Ramirez, all these guys tremendous in what they do. Joe Belton, our production manager. He's the general, as the mayor is our floor director, Roland Martinez. On audio, Chris Belton. On camera number 1, Tom Prinkleton. On camera number 2, Jim Milligan. On 3, James Austin. And on camera number 4, Bill Goodman. Doing a great job as our production assistants, Andrew Delara, Matt Zavala, and the all-pro safety, Mark Carrier. Chucky, some of the numbers of note. We talked about our most valuable player, Kasha Clemens, officially 18 carries, 132 yards, that's 7.3 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. Stubblefield doing a great job not only in relief, picking up some of the running load, 9 carries for 27 yards, but a great job blocking, Dave.
You bet. He was the guy who was leading most of the time when Clemens was picking up his yards.
Bo Rodriguez primarily running in the second half for Clemens out of the tailback. Bo, 7 carries for 48 yards. Tim Albrecht, 4 carries for 49 yards. Had a couple of big runs, including a long of 26. Passing, Albrecht 6 of 13 for 110, 2 touchdowns with a long of 44. And Dustin Rodriguez, 4 catches for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. Joe Miller had 1. Andy Gibson had 1 for the Badgers. For the San Jacinto Hogs, Ernie McCracken, very impressive football player, 9 carries for 22 yards of rush offense. Matt Georgia, he started out as the quarterback, was hurt late in the first half. 3 completions and 8 attempts for 59 yards. Larry Kidd was 1 of 5 passing with a couple of interceptions. In fact, that's one of the stories of the ballgame. 4 interceptions defensively provided by that Badger squad.
You bet. And there was, I think they were shared by 3 or 4 different players. So, you know, they were hurting you from a lot of different ways. It shows you the kind of depth and versatility they have.
Roberto Guadalupe had 2 catches for 9 yards. Larry Kidd 1 for 15. Dana Cabrera had the big one for 35 yards. Almost setting up a score in the first half, second period, but good job by the defensive football team of the Badgers to turn them away with no points at that point in time. In fact, the final score, as we mentioned, 41-0, the game won by the Ventura County Badgers in Pride Bowl number 20. And again, finally, the big winner in this football game is the Make-A-Wish Foundation here in Ventura County. And I think, Dave Wheeler, even more than that, the people of Ventura County that have all these outstanding police officers, the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, Oxnard PD, et al., that do a great job day in and day out patrolling our great county.
You bet. And, you know, it's nice to see the community support, but hopefully all the people that came today saw the game, and also the people that watch it on television will talk it up in their communities and get out here and really support this next year, put a lot of crowd in the seats, and make a lot of money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
And that will do it once again. This is Game of the Week. I love to